Happy Wednesday, everybody. Erin here, Women Crush Wednesday time. Super excited to have a really phenomenal female join, learn all about her company. She is the CEO of Sunrider. Check it out. It is it's a wellness company. They have really good products. Hi guys, how are you? Sunny, newly named CEO. It's her family's company. She has Sunny of Sunrider. I am so curious to learn more about this particular wellness company and how they prioritize the people that consume their products. There's somebody that I've been using now for the past at least year or two, and I reached out to this company. I was like, I'm obsessed with you guys. How can I what you guys do? So I'm really excited to get Sunny on. She is a very, very, very busy person, and she graciously allowed for herself. Thank you so much for jumping on. I know how busy you are.
No, I'm really happy to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Well, and I was kind of letting my guests know a little bit about you, but why don't I ask you, newly named CEO from 2021, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is a company, obviously you know a lot about, because it originally started by your parents, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us a little backstory on the company, because I am obsessed. It doesn't even... It's good for you, and then it tastes good, which is nice. It's just like, and then this is my non-negotiable. I break out, so this is my acne cleanser. I drink it every day. And it really does help. And I actually have a lot of friends now who are obsessed with chlorophyll. You're evergreen.
Yeah.
But can we go back a little bit and talk about the company, how it started, and then how you got involved in it?
Sure. I mean, yeah, my parents started it in 1982. So it's been 40 years. It's our 40th anniversary. So we're really happy about that. I mean, they built a great company. And it started because my dad is a pharmacist and a chemist, and he has a background in herbal nutrition. His grandfather taught him all about herbs growing up in Taiwan. And so he created all these wonderful products like the evergreen that you were just holding up. And like people love our Sunbreeze essential oil, which is one of the first essential oils ever. He started in 1982. That was our first product. And so there are just so many things that he wanted to create for himself and to help athletes. He was an athlete. He was a national judo champion in Taiwan, and he taught athletics at university. He taught judo. And so he was like sore muscles all the time. So he's like, I need to create something for myself. And other people started getting interested in what he was making. And so he started selling it. And that's how Sunrider was formed 40 years ago. So
wow.
We moved, then it started growing. We went to other countries. And now we're in like 40 different countries. And it's great. And I have been working at Sunrider since I was 9 years old. My parents, after summer school, they're like, come into the office, because they all had to work. So we stuffed envelopes, I answered phones, did mail service, literally anything my parents wanted me to do every summer growing up. So we've known, and we were guinea pigs too. My dad he creates lots of products. And when they first start, they usually taste really bad. So, yeah. And, they're very herbally, very Chinese medicine tasting. Mm-hmm. And the newer products that we're coming out with, we're trying to get rid of the herbal flavor, but we still pack it with herbs. So like the Sunfit Protein Plus, like caramel macchiato flavor is a favorite. And also like the evergreen always tasted good. That was always everyone's like, oh, you could just add that to anything. It'll taste good. So, it was just, he grew it from his heart. He grew everything that he knew that he needed for himself as an athlete, for his family, for his kids. We test all our products on ourselves first. And we go through lots of iterations, and we share it with our grandchildren. I mean, my children, their grandchildren. So my kids love it too.
Yeah. And what's interesting, nothing against Western medicine, but watching, and I'll get really personal, I lost my dad almost 6 months ago to cancer. And it was really challenging to see him on a lot of medication, a lot of, modalities to try to, help him. Even chemotherapy is so damaging to the body. And really the biggest thing that I took away, but I always kind of prioritized even before watching my dad get sick, was this initiative of taking care of body before you really get sick.
Yeah.
And what I love so much about Eastern medicine, and maybe you can kind of educate me a little bit more about your company and the initiative of the introduction of Eastern medicine, because I think now we're really starting to see and care about Eastern medicine, about holistic medicine. Instead of taking a pill to get your blood pressure, even, and by the way, if you're taking it, I don't suggest getting off of it, but for me, I would want to find other avenues that might be more rooted in a natural form. Like, for instance, small example, and this is not medical advice, but like if I could take flaxseed oil instead of a high blood pressure medicine, and that actually works, I would rather take the natural element. I'm very uneducated and naive about this, but can you educate us why a more holistic Eastern approach with regard to healing is a better thing? I mean, because that's the sort of the influence of your company. And I think the nature of why your dad was really invested in it was finding ways to naturally heal as opposed to taking like something maybe more synthetic.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, my dad was he was a sickly child. He had a lot of allergies. And back then, growing up in Taiwan, it was very rural. And so in order to get better, he took a lot of herbs to give him strength. And, as he got older, he became very strong. And that's how he could do judo and win all those competitions. So our philosophy is called the Philosophy of Regeneration. And that means that you want to nourish your body with the right foods and the right herbs, things that are natural, so that you can have the proper cleansing also. So not like a chemical, right? We want everything to be whole foods. And that way you can find a really good natural balance in your body. And we really believe that, everything has to be as natural as possible so that your body can absorb the nutrients. A lot of times chemicals, they just run through. You don't really absorb as much as well. And so we like to pair it. I mean, we're big believers in Western medicine too. Don't get me wrong. My mother's a medical doctor. My brother is also a medical doctor, and they're on the board of directors. But we always pair it with natural whole foods that can nourish your body, cleanse it in the right way so that your body finds that harmony and balance. So what you were saying is totally right. I mean, everyone is so concerned about what they're eating. Everyone reads labels nowadays. Yes. They want to know that everything they're taking into their body is good for them and that their body can absorb it in the right way. So that's what we're really concerned about in our products.
Yeah, and I appreciate that, because I think you're absolutely right. The consumer is getting smarter in that I want to see what's in here, and I want to see, here's the thing, maybe chlorophyll is not for everybody. I know I need it. There's something in my body that there must be an imbalance, and again, everybody's different. But when I invest in my health and add more green into my life, and by the way, here's the thing that I like about a lot of your products. They're kind of catered to the busy lifestyle. I'm on the go. I don't have time to eat a full meal. You guys, this is my favorite protein powder because it tastes good. And then I see the ingredients, and the ingredients are really clean. So I appreciate that you guys know how smart the consumer is. And that is in alignment with who you guys already are, which is prioritize clean ingredients. That has to be so cool for you as the daughter of, a couple who's created this company that really does help a lot of people. I'm so curious to learn about you. Was it always something that you wanted to be in? You were involved in the company at 8-9 years old. That's really young. Now you're the CEO. That has to be really cool to see evolve.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I always wanted to be in Sunrider. I know that whenever we meet with people, they're always so grateful for their health being restored, or having that natural balance. I know this sounds really weird, but like even bowel movements, something that you don't ever talk about. But once you start getting really regular, people are like, oh, I start feeling really good. And I think most of our products do that. They're naturally like prebiotics and probiotics in it. So it just kind of balances you out naturally. And then people are like, oh, I start feeling really good. But I knew the products were awesome. And I shared it with people in college just because that's what I was using in my home. And they're like, oh, I love the soap. I love your skincare. I love this and that. Like our drinks. Like I always have my Sunrider beverages with me. So my friends liked it. And so I was like, yeah, this is good. Everyone can use it. But I went to law school. I thought I wanted to be a lawyer full time. And I was mistaken. So after law school, I did like tons of internships. I was so confused. And my mom's like, you can come back to Sunrider, but if you come back, it's going to be like, you have to work for me and I'm going to tell you what to do. And it's going to be 24/7 and anytime. And you're just going to have to do it. And I was like, I think I can do that, because I think the mission and goal of Sunrider is to help people, to help their wellness, to help them feel better about themselves, and to help them gain extra income. So that really resonated with me at the time. I have a lot of friends who are still lawyers. It's a very great profession. But I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to reach out to more people, be able to help in that way, help them personally. And so I joined Sunrider and started low, as my parents told me I would, and just worked my way up over 15 years. So yeah, it's been a good journey.
Yeah, but I think what I see in you is yes, you could have had a lucrative career as a lawyer, and that's purpose fulfilled and amazing. But just like doing these interviews with amazing, inspiring women, it feels more in alignment for me with helping others with their story and getting more vulnerable, that women have had, a tough time throughout their career in terms of maybe some inequities, right? Like I think women still to this day really struggle for asking for fairness, even in terms of negotiating. And so you sharing with us your story and even your struggles, I think puts Sunrider in a different category in terms of you're really aligned with wanting to help other people, help women, help families, help people heal. And right now, after the pandemic, that priority feels really important to me with respect to our health and our mental health. Obviously, the last couple of years has been really hard. How did the pandemic impact you individually, and then did it impact your company in any way too?
For the company side, yeah, it definitely had an impact, and it still is impacting it logistically, like getting shipments in and stuff like that. But I think we were really blessed because people realized that health is really important. And so they started ordering more products, and we were surprised. I was like, oh, sales are going up. And the main things people are buying are nutritional supplements. They want to get healthier. They were buying... we have a lot of supplements for immunity to boost your immune system, because we think the body goes in 5 systems. So one of the systems is your immune system. And so people are like, oh, I need to boost my immune system. So we started selling more immune products like Alpha 20C. And then, and like we do Citric C.
And we'll send me what it is that you that the consumer was asking, and we'll post it here because I know people are going to be curious about it.
Yeah.
But we're not out of the pandemic yet. I still know people who are getting it and feeling very afraid. So I think offering you're a health company, what has helped your clients and your customers would be helpful. And I don't mean to interrupt, but just for people that are tuning in and want to know more about what you just said, we'll post it. So
okay. We'll send that over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our immune boosting products, our cleansing products, like we do hand sanitizer. We've done it for years. So we just boosted production of hand sanitizers, soaps, house cleaning. Just people just wanted to be healthy. And they were staying home a lot too. So you start thinking about it all the time, right? You're like, oh my gosh, how do I stay clean? How do I stay healthy? And we do natural cleaning products too. So safe for your home, safe for kids. So I think that was like a really big concern for people. And for me personally, we're in Los Angeles, and California has more restrictions, I think, than other places. And so we've been in the pandemic, it feels like a little bit longer than like my brother lives in Utah. It's like, it doesn't exist. Texas is very open where my other brother lives. But I'm like, nope, in California, it's very, controlled. So I spent a lot of time with my husband and my kids. Homeschooling, I respect teachers so much. It was difficult. I could not get my kindergartner to listen to me. He'd just like lay on the floor and be like, oh, this isn't real school. I don't have to do anything. So I was like, oh my gosh, I need a teacher. So, we did lots of homeschooling. I personally also like washed everything like religiously, like all the time, cleansing everything. But I think it was a good time for me to spend more time with my kids. Because usually, it was traveling a lot, didn't have as much time at home. I only saw them, in the evening after dropping them off at school, then coming home in the evening to see them. I always had a really good support, but it was really good to see them during the pandemic, to see them grow up and to like have more conversations and talk to them more. Working from home was a real big blessing.
Yeah, I think we all learned the real MVPs of education are the teachers, because there were meals being served, kids, had a place to get social and, release energy. So I empathize the parents. And a lot of times that's why I even started the Woman Crush Wednesday, was because I saw that whether it was the woman that owned a small business or the woman that had kids, most of the burden, unfortunately, in today's time, went on the shoulders of the woman. Who owns small businesses? Majority is women and minorities. So, to me, the biggest impact was our females and what they had to navigate. And it was just really challenging. And so that was why I was like, let's do this weekly series just to hear her story, just to hear what she's going through. And we would have restaurant owners on, and restaurants obviously were taking a really big hit. So it's really fascinating to have the CEO of a health company kind of enlighten us on what her experience was personally, but also the trends that you saw within your company. I do, since you do have kids and you're running a company and you have a lot of responsibility, you're the perfect person to ask this question, which is, how do you do self-care? What does self-care look like for you? Is it a daily thing? Is it a weekly thing? Is it about, what is it for you, Sunny, that you do to kind of recalibrate?
That's a good question, because I feel like I don't do it very regularly. My husband is the one who actually tells me that I have to do it. So he's like, he's always telling me, he's like, you have to remember to plan it into your schedule. So like, I really have to plan it in. Doing like yoga on an app for like 20 minutes even is just very relaxing for me. So that's what I have to do. I have to schedule it in the mornings. Like I try to do it with my kids at home because that's like the best time. I don't really have a lot of time after I send them to school. And sometimes they like it. Sometimes they don't. My youngest one, he's 4, and they do yoga exercises at school. And so he's been doing it with me. It's like super cute, just like this little munchkin doing like stretches and stuff. And he's always like, namaste. So it's really cute. But I have to remind myself, and my husband reminds me. He's actually like my alarm clock at like 11 p.m. He's like, do you really need to be up? Because I usually work regular hours during the day, but we work with Asia also. So I always have a schedule, like 6 to 7:30 p.m. I am with my kids, and that's it. And then after 7:30 p.m. I start taking calls again with Asia, and I start working again. And so my husband's like, 11 p.m. Sunny. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm going to bed. You should come soon. So he's always trying to keep me on a schedule so I don't get super stressed out. And so it's big support. And he's like CPA dad. You know what I mean? He like gets involved in all the school stuff. And he's like really supportive, and I think that helps me a lot. So he does all the school activities. He goes to like the library, talks with the kids, reads the books at school and stuff. So he does all that stuff so that I can really focus on Sunrider and my job. And I try to schedule my time just to be with my kids because that's the most important thing for me. So I'm always there for them every night, and they know that. And then I always try to have like a 15-minute gap between calls and stuff and meetings so I can always put them to bed and be there with them and, you know, read stories, say a prayer, and just make sure that they're okay.
Yeah, and that's self-care. You know, that's carving time out for you, because I think sometimes being the CEO of a company like Sunrider, you're being pulled in a lot of directions. And I saw a really good email signature that, you know, I wish I could apply more into my life, but says, you know, I'm not going to immediately respond. I'm going to need like 3 days or something like that. And it was like terrifying for me to read that. It was giving me like heart palpitations going, oh my God, waiting that long to respond to, you know, whatever. But I think that self-care is when you're not in a constant state of responding and you're becoming intentional with your time. So that 15 minutes for you with your kids is a non-negotiable. And I think that helps you show up better in your day-to-day life, because I'm sure you're putting out fires and tons of people are asking for your brain, to borrow your brain. So I love hearing that that's really important to you. And, you know, your story is really fascinating. I feel like I've already run out of time with you, and I just wanted to ask you a couple more questions, one of which is the Holy Grail. If you could have 3 items from Sunrider, you kind of touched on a lot of the popular ones. For me, it is my marriage of Evergreen. Their face products are amazing. It's like thirst quench for your face. And then, of course, I can't live without my protein powder. But for you, do you have favorites?
Yes. It's really hard for me to choose, though. I feel like when I travel, I could have a suitcase just for Sunrider products. And I have to, like, really, like, focus. I'd say, like, number 1 is Alpha 20C immunity. I have a lot of allergies, too, passed along from my father. And so Alpha 20C just really helps me, like, with my sinuses. It helps boost my immune system so I don't get colds and sick. I mean, my kids get sick sometimes, and I'm like, I cannot get this from them. So I always do Alpha 20C. Toothpaste, our herbal toothpaste, we don't use sodium lauryl sulfate, and we don't use fluoride in the toothpaste because, you know, fluoride is a chemical and it can cause poisoning if you eat too much of it, right? So, yeah, my dad was in the military in Taiwan, and everyone there has to go through the military if you're a young man. And so he said that some people would get out of military service by eating like a tablespoon of toothpaste, and they would just get sick, and they knew they weren't going to die though, you know, so they were like, oh, I just made myself sick, and they just get out of military service that way. So he's like, I'm never putting fluoride in my toothpaste, and he didn't. So he uses like natural enzymes and things to cleanse your mouth. So I give it to my kids. I'm not worried about them swallowing it. And they're so used to it too. You know, it's like minty flavored, and we have a fruity flavor. So that is like something I can't live without because I love clean teeth, and you know, it's like every single day. And I think the third product, probably Fortune Delight, which is what I'm drinking right now. My beverage, it's Herbal Beverage, and it has green tea catechins in it, but it has almost no caffeine. So it's also safe to give to children. So we formulate it. It's very concentrated, and we extract the caffeine so that we only have the good stuff that's left behind. And it has really high in antioxidants, keeps you very cleansed. And when people drink it for the first time, they may feel the urge to use the restroom more frequently because they're just naturally cleansing. But after like a week, your body gets used to it. But it cleanses very well. I mean, you can wash your hands with it because if you have like oil on your hands, we do a demonstration. You just pour it on. It just cleanses it all out. So like when you're eating oily foods, it makes you feel good. Like I love tempura. I mean, I just love it. So if I eat tempura, I have to have Fortune Delight because it just cleanses it, and you can feel the oil just separating.
This is amazing. I feel like I want to schedule another just Q&A and ask you about all of this stuff because I don't know if a lot of people knew the fluoride component could be poisoning for people. And actually, I just saw Faith asking about a clean toothpaste option. So and I think we'll just link your 3 favorite products. I think people at home may be interested in learning more about that. That's amazing. Last but certainly not least, future for Sunrider. You guys are in 40 countries, you said? 40?
Yeah, we don't have offices in all those countries. We sell products into more than 40 countries and regions. So, yeah, we ship everywhere.
That's amazing. And the future, just keep providing clean products and supplements and lifestyle, because that's really, it feels like for me when I go to your website, it's like a grocery store of dreams, because everything just does so many amazing things. Like you mentioned, you extract the caffeine out of your Fortune Delight, and you literally see sort of the toxins get removed. And I think people are becoming more intrigued and interested in Eastern medicine. So I love that Sunrider has been in business for 40 years. That's insane.
We're planning another 40, so we're not going anywhere.
Yeah. Well, you're such an inspiration, and thank you for being so candid and really telling us your story, your struggles, all of the things that I think make Sunrider such an important company. And I love that it's really important for you to help heal and make people healthier, especially right now with what everybody's been going through. So thank you for the time.
Thanks for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah, and we're going to do this again. We're doing this again. You're so interesting to me.
Thank you.
Well, good luck today, and we'll be chatting in the future. Thank you again, Sunny. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.